Don, dun, dun, dun. Don, dun, 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 dun. Don, dun, dun, dun. Don, dun, 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 dun. Alright, so today we're going to be talking about, you guessed it, Don. Alright, so we're going to be going through the comprehensive breakdown of everything that Don does. So one of the major things that you have to remember about using Don is whoever goes first only gets to put down one Don and they don't draw a card, while the second person puts down two Don and then they get to draw a card on the second turn, and every turn after that you're going to be putting down two Don. Okay, so what is Don? It's the resource that you're using to play the One Piece game. So what are the few things that you can do this? So you can take cards like Sanji here, okay, or what I like to call him Budget Zoro, because he fills kind of the same thing. He doesn't have counter, but you see him at he's sitting there at about 2 cost, right? So what you're gonna do is, if you had 4 Don out, you put 2 down, you have Sanji down, and what he does is, if you attach 2 Don to him, he gains Rush. And Rush is similar to, if you're familiar with Magic, it's a haste effect. It means that it can attack the same turn that it came out. So that's one of the ways that you can use Don, which is attach your Don to a character so that it can do special stuff. And then, so let's say we had Sanji set up like this, and then for whatever reason we were cheating and we had Kozuki Oden, because you can't actually have Kozuki Oden with a red card. But what you would do with him is you activate main once per turn. You can trash a card from your hand, which is discarding a card, and then you can reactivate the Don. Okay? So that's one thing that's another thing that you can do with the Don, is with Kozuki Oden. And then if you were to move on to a different way that way that Don works, let's say you had 5 Don out, right? And then you use that to play Boa Hancock. Okay, so you look at the Boa there. All right, so you can't see, I'm going to have something pop up on the screen for you so you can see what Boa does. But what she does is times 1 Don, so whenever 1 Don is on them, when she attacks, she draws you a card. And then the other thing that she does is on block, she draws you a card. So she's somebody who's going to draw you a card even if you keep her open, and if somebody's attacking you, you can use her to block. And then the other cards that have these types of effects, so these are both only on attack. So you have Robin, who is a really good card, because what she does is whenever you're attacking, you attach a Don to her, and then she can KO one of your opponents on attack, right? So that's one of the things that she can do, but you have to have Don on her, otherwise all she is a 4K body. And then you also have Okiku, who on attack, what Okiku does, so there you can take a look at her. So when you attach a Don to her, when she attacks, she can tap something that's 5 cost or less. So she's a really good, she's really good because you can like tap blockers. And then the other thing that we have that you can attach Don is you have Killer, who's a blocker, and if you attach a Don on block, if you have 3 characters up, you get to draw a card after you block. Okay? So that is all the different, that's some of the different attach style effects. There's a lot of different attach style effects, but those are some of the main ones. So now we are going into our ramp, which one of our great ramp engines is of course Onigashima, which it's a stage, so it's an entirely different place. So what you do with Onigashima is once you have it out, you can tap Onigashima, and then you can put out a rested Don. So that you can't actually use that Don, but it does help you the next turn. So it just makes it so that you're ramping for your next turns. That's the nice part about there. And then you have ulti, which does the same thing, except for it's on play. If you add one extra, if you tap an extra Don, you get to put another rested Don out if you're running ulti. And then you have Jack. And one of the cool things with Jack is on play, if you trash a card from your hand, so that means you discard a card, you can actually add an unrested Don with him. And then, so here are all the effects that, or here's most of the effects that I've came up with. Of course, if you guys know any others, feel free to comment. But these are the add effects of Don. One of the nice things about Jack, you do lose a card, but you do have a unrested Don, which means that you can use it that turn if you want to make some plays. And then, now we're going to be going to the minus Don. So let's say you bring out Mr. Big Kaido. As you can see, that's the sick art on it. But what he does is, after you tap, you minus 6 Don from your pool. Okay? You minus 6 Don from him. And then you put that back in your deck. And then he wipes the entire field. So that's the minus Don effect that you can use. And then there's also Jack, who minuses 1 Don. He taps for 3 and he minuses 1 Don. One of the nice things about minusing Don is you can minus your Don from your rested pile, right? So that means if you have, like, let's say you have 3 or you have 4 Don and you want to play a Jack, you do this right here. So you're going to rest these 3, and then you can take this Don from the rested pile. You don't have to use your active Don, so you can have an active Don for like an event or something like that, right? Okay. And then the other thing that we can do with Don is you can use people like Brooke to put rested Don on a character. So with him, obviously you wouldn't want to be using his ability for him. You'd want to be using it for like an active character because it's on play. But you can actually use Brooke to take your Don that's already used, and then you can put it on someone else. So you can actually kind of semi have a free card. And then if you look here, there's Jewelry Bonnie. And if you look there, you see she has like a little 1 there. It's going to be hard to see. Like I said, I'm going to be putting all the cards that I showed you here today on this, like somewhere on the screen where you guys can see them. But with Bonnie, once you play her, you can tap 1 Don, and then you can use her ability to look at the top 5 cards and then choose something that's a supernova. So that's kind of the nice thing about Bonnie is you just tap her, you rest her, and then you use a Don to actually like thin out your deck and to get like really good cards. And then the last thing that we have in the game that I can think of, obviously if there's any more, feel free to comment and let me know, is Crocodile. And what Crocodile does is he first off has Banish, which that's not what we're talking about today. It's a really interesting ability that we'll get into some other time if you guys are interested. But if you put 1 Don on him, it makes it so that your events cost -1 Don. So it actually makes it so that the cost goes down on your Don. So these are all the different things that you can do with Don. So make sure if you guys have any questions, feel free to ask me. I just wanted to do a comprehensive breakdown of Don, and if you guys like my content, be sure to like, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Thank you guys so much, and hopefully I catch you guys next time.